then Jalen
Because
Carter better
you
have a
can
good
sign
year.
this guy anyway, anytime you want, right?
Well, Jalen Carter better have a good year then, no?
Well, no, what I'm saying is you don't need to wait till Wednesday or anything. You got the players' rights for the next couple of years here. I mean,
Yeah, that's what
you
I
don't
mean.
have to do anything. So this deal could have been done 2 weeks ago. How come it wasn't?
Well, maybe Drew wants a bigger deal and the Eagles aren't willing to pay it, which creates a stalemate. I mean, Jalen's either going to have a great year and he's going to get the 35 million or whatever it is
No
at that
way.
point, or he's not going to play good enough and the Eagles might look to move him. I mean, the other thing that I think the Eagles have done here is this. If you want to play hardball, we'll play hardball. And if he does have a great year, then guess what? We're willing to trade him for 2 1s.
Okay, as long as I get my 40. Drew's going to look at it like you could
Yeah,
trade him.
well, maybe he will.
You could trade him to Kansas. I don't
Maybe
care
he
as long as I
will.
get my 40.
Yeah, but what about the Eagles? Like you're right. That's the Drew perspective. What's the Eagles perspective? Because you have a great player. You don't necessarily want to let great players like that walk up the building.
No. You don't. But 2 1s, you're not getting 2 1s for him. You're probably getting a 1, 3, and something else.
I'm saying, what if he has a great year?
If he has a great year, then they have the leverage. I'm assuming they're going to pick that 5th year up. That 5th year ain't cheap either.
Yeah, I agree. It's like 27 million or something.
Yeah, because he's an all-pro.
Yeah, it's a freaking huge deal. So
yeah,
I don't know. I do think it's interesting. I mean, it's not. I'll tell you what. It's not really like the Eagles to trade that player, but maybe they indicated that with the Jordan Davis deal, dude. You know, because John brought up something good to me on Saturday when we did our breaking news hit. On
did I tell you were going to have to work?
Yeah, you did. So we were doing the breaking news hit, and John brought up a good point. He said, "All right, they've paid Jordan Davis now to be a 3-down player, which I think we can all agree with, based on the contract he was given. The projection by the Eagles is that he's going to be a 3-down player. It's easy for guys who wear suits and draw up contracts to project a player to be a 3-down guy. When it's 3rd and 10." And you're playing the Cowboys or the Giants or for a game in the NFC East late in the season, and you have Moro Ajomo, Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis on the sideline, Vic Fangio is not going to give a rat's ass about the contract that you gave the player. He's going to put the 2 best pass rushers on the field. So if you take that thought process and extrapolate it out across the full season, if you go into the year with all 3 of those guys, it's probably still unlikely that Jordan Davis is a 3-down guy.
Absolutely.
They have 2 better pass rushing tackles right now. So with John saying that, it made me wonder, do they avoid that altogether and move one of them? Not going to be Jordan now. It'd have to be either Moro or Jalen Carter.
Why would you take the lesser player, though? I think Jordan Davis is the lesser player to Carter.
Well, they're very different. I mean, Jalen's not as well. He's definitely the lesser player. I mean, anybody who look. Sometimes we have
Now we're talking about one of the elite guys in the game here too.
Yeah, but dude, if anybody's saying Jordan Davis is better than Jalen Carter, they have recency bias. Jalen Carter was a wrecker on that Super Bowl team that won the Super Bowl. I mean, he was the guy.
Yeah,
he was the guy. So. Yeah. You can't. I'm not going to sit up here and act like, let's not act like Jalen Carter hasn't been a baller for the Eagles. But hey, listen, your first 4 years are different than your second 4 years.
Yes.
So the Eagles might be looking at him and say, shoulders, discipline.
Okay.
I was good with the 9th overall pick, but I'm not looking to give him 35. I don't know what they're thinking. I just wonder about that big picture thing of like, dude, Vic is not going to care about the contract.
No way.
Just like he did it with Bryce Huff. He's not going to care. He's going to play the best players. And then you're going to have Jordan on the bench as a 2-down
Or that kid White that they gave like $3.5–4 million to. They put his ass on. Remember, he put that linebacker kid on the bench there. He didn't even play that guy. He didn't even activate that guy.
Nope.
All right. So, hey, you know what, Zander? I have no insight on this, but I'm going to ask you. Tell me if you think I'm nuts on this one. I don't know, man. I got a feeling there's something in there that. Man, it just seems Zach Bond might be a casualty somehow.
I don't think this year, man.
I mean, how come Nakobe's name hasn't been mentioned yet?
Dude, I'm Goddard, Nakobe, and Reed. Three of the Eagles' big four there's been nothing on any of them.
All these big guys go day one.
I know, and if the Eagles, maybe we overrated our own guys. Three of the four. Marcus Mariota just re-signed with the Commanders. Oh, come on.
Right.
Well,
could they be trying to work a deal to keep Nakobe?
I just don't see it as much. I want Nakobe. I've said this very clearly. If it was my football team, he would have had a contract. But did they try and move Campbell to the edge after Phillips is gone? Keep Nakobe? Vic did not want him at edge last year.
No way. I don't think Campbell can play out there.
I don't know if he can either. I mean, he's smaller because he was a rookie last year. So does he grow into his body and potentially have that trajectory? I don't see it, but maybe the Eagles remember, because there seems to be a disparity in the logic and the thinking of two people on the Eagles, and both of them are very influential, but one much more than the other. Howie clearly saw Jahad Campbell differently than Vic Fangio saw Jahad Campbell. Because if you go back to draft day last year, after they selected Jahad Campbell in the opening press conference, Howie referred to Jahad Campbell as a Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter type player, because he referred to them as the Penn State rushers. That would insinuate Howie thought he could be an edge, and Howie doesn't really like drafting linebackers that high. At least that's been his history. So you can make that argument, and then Vic Fangio gets his hands on him and is like, no, he's an off-ball linebacker.
Yeah.
So if they have that disagreement and Howie's going to be here longer than Vic, do they play hardball and say, Vic, you're putting him on the outside? I mean, Vic, you almost hung him up this year. If you retire after next year, I need to prepare for the next 5 years. You're only preparing for 1 year.
Man, I think that's a risky call.
I agree.
If Howie is saying to Vic, who's a professional linebacker coach, I think he belongs out at edge versus Vic's position where you think he's inside. I think you're playing a guy out of position. I take Vic Fangio's word more than I take Howie Roseman's word. Don't you?
I agree with you, but are you getting into that business? Look, this is the business of football.
I get it.
It's different than being a linebacker coach.
And Vic would play – you think Vic would play a guy out of position if he felt he was out of position? Because he was being told.
No, he'll probably end up playing Nolan Smith more.
And that's how you end up firing, or that's how Vic retires. I'm out. I'm not being told that. So, again –
but Vic's probably retiring anyway, dude. You could give Vic everything he wants on a silver platter. He might retire.
Okay.
My whole point is not that you're going to push him into it or keep him out of it. It's that it's such a movable variable that you cannot make decisions based on Vic Fangio's presence on the football team. It's not consistent. It's not something, that has a strong roots in the foundation. It's like building a house on sand. You don't build a house on sand. You build a house on a firm foundation. Same concept. At least that's how I see it.
Okay. I want to ask you one last question here about Davis and Carter. Who could you live without?
At $26 million, we're living without Carter.
No. If you had to live without one of the two players.
Yeah, without Davis, I'd prefer Carter. Based on my understanding of the game. You want to get to the quarterback. Obviously, the league pays defensive tackles and pass rushers higher than they pay nose tackles. They just do. Jordan's been a nose tackle in 4 years. If you drop me down from Mars and you said, watch the first 4 years of Jordan Davis's pro career, you would not come out of there thinking he's a pass rusher.
You think he's better than Dexter Lawrence?
No, not even close. Dexter Lawrence can rush the passer. He had 9 sacks 1 year.
You think he's better than Quentin Williams?
No.
Man, they went 26 for a 2-down guy, and now they're going to string along Carter. Scale of 1 to 10. What do you think those trade? What do you think the trade talk is? You think it's a real thing, or do you think it's a? Well,
I think it could be posturing, could be negotiation.
Would you be shocked if they dealt him?
If they got 2-1s, hell no. I don't think they're going to get 2-1s, but I didn't think the Raiders were going to get 2-1s for Crosby. I really didn't.
I didn't either, especially from that franchise. I thought from like Cleveland you would, but from the Ravens, that's a big one, man. All right. Trey Hendrickson. Any interest?
No, not at the price. I think he's going to be expensive.
32 to 34.
I'm just not in. That guy never has done it for me ever. I've never been like, oh, go and get that player. I don't know what it is. I just don't think. I think he's a little overrated. I think he's one trick pony. I don't think he's going to fit with Vic Fangio. I don't think Vic would even like having him, and I don't think he'd make that big of a difference for what he cost. I'd rather bring in Bradley Chubb and re-sign to Kobe Dean. I mean, and even try Campbell at edge before I went that route. I think there's a lot of different ways to use your capital that are better than Trey Hendrickson.
And now the golden nugget.